Hello and welcome to the show. Entrepreneurship across the globe is on the rise with every age group, and research shows 84% of Gen Zers aspire to own their own business. Mason Fisher was just 15 years old when he started his brownie business. He just wanted to save up for a car. Now he's 21 with a brownie business. Everything is booming, and that's even while he's away studying business at Florida A&M University. Welcome to the show, Mason.
Pleasure to be here.
Nice to have you here. All right, let's talk about 15-year-old Mason. What was going on that made you say, all right, I want this car. I'm going to make brownies. How'd you get there?
So at the time, I had a minimum wage job. I was making smoothies, and I had saved up about $500, and I was just learning how to drive. So I was looking at cars, and the arrangement at my house was my parents would match whatever me and my brother could come up with, dollar for dollar.
Okay.
So I had $500. So we looked at $1,000 cars, and none of them were up to my standard.
Got it, of course.
And so me and my mom and my dad, we were brainstorming ideas how I could make money, and we thought about selling a product.
Okay.
So at my school, we had a bookstore, and they sold other snacks like candy, popcorn, cookies, and we didn't want to do that to compete with them. So coincidentally, my aunt had baked brownies when she was in high school. So we thought, why not do the same thing? And that's kind of how I got started. I would bring a box of brownies, like a cardboard box, to school every day. And I would sell them to my classmates out of my locker.
The box?
Yes.
Not the finished product?
No, it was a box, and I would put all the brownies in the box.
Oh, you stuffed them in there. Okay,
Yes,
gotcha.
yes,
And then, but the school shut that down.
Absolutely, they did. They did. Once I started to get enough traction and people were coming up to me in the hallway asking for brownies, they thought it was a distraction, and so they put the kibosh on it. They were like, you could sell before school or after school.
Okay.
And one time they caught me selling during school, so they cut it down completely.
Yeah, because they told you not to keep selling every day. Got it. Well, I get it. You got it. It's a hustle. It's a hustle. I understand. It's your entrepreneurial spirit. So did your auntie was the one who taught you how to make the brownies too?
No, it was absolutely my mom. The inspiration for the idea came from my aunt, but my mom was the one like with the recipe ideas, the flavors. She was the one promoting that.
So the school shut it down, but you ended up making a deal with the school to have an arrangement in the school store, right? I feel like that's one of the first teachable moments there.
Yeah, we had to pivot because I needed to keep selling, so we came up with a business plan, and I emailed the bookstore manager. We set up a business meeting, and I pitched them the idea of carrying my brownies in their store. They liked my pitch, so they ended up carrying 2 of our flavors. They would order maybe 100 of each a week, and I'd bring them to them like Monday morning.
Okay.
And they would display.
So did you spend the whole weekend baking? Is that how that works?
Pretty much. It was Sunday, so Sunday was the really big baking day.
How much were the brownies back then?
Back then, oh man, this is gonna sound crazy. So I would sell them for $1.
Okay. That doesn't sound crazy.
It doesn't sound that crazy. So to them, we sold them for $1.50.
Okay.
And then they would upsell them for $4 and $4.50.
Yeah, that's what happens in business.
Nowadays,
understood. So what happened?
Crazy.
I understand you ended up actually getting to sell the brownies. Then they were so good. You sell them to another school, school in the neighborhood.
Yes, they were so popular at my school that the manager ended up recommending us to the neighboring high school. And I went over there. I pitched them the same pitch, and they liked it enough that they decided to carry our brownies too. So now I had both of the.
So how were you juggling this as a young entrepreneur? I have to presume there was some family help,
Yes,
right?
Yes, it was a whole family ordeal. Everybody was helping.
But then things take off, right? I mean, you're going from schools to stands. Let's talk about how you scaled at such a young age.
Yeah, so it kind of naturally scaled itself from when we got into the bookstore, and then we got into the other bookstore. So their orders were less, so we didn't have to increase our production that much. But really it was like me, my mom, my brother, we were baking in the morning, Sunday, and then in the afternoon we would cut them and wrap them and make sure the numbers were good. So scaling was a family ordeal. It took a village of support, honestly.
Yes, it always takes a village. Let's talk
Absolutely.
about, so you finally get to a point. How long did it take to get to the point where you made enough money to buy the car?
It took about a few months after we got into the bookstores, the revenue was
Really?
consistent enough that I could put a down payment on a car.
Nice.
And then COVID came through and shut everything down. So I had just lost my consistent revenue.
What did you do? How did you adjust during COVID?
That was a struggle. I had a car note, so we needed to figure
Right.
something out. And my mom had started posting the brownies just casually on like some local Facebook groups, and then
Yeah.
people started DMing her for orders. And we decided that we needed a website to continue to scale. So we created one, and we would do pickups from our house. And
Oh, so people would come by, would you just
Yes.
like put them in the back seat or the trunk like we were doing back in the COVID days?
yeah, it's exactly what we
What
did.
was that like for you? Like, because especially being so young, no one ever expects that something like a virus is going to shut down your whole business. Did you
It was all
panic
surreal.
a little bit? Or?
Yeah, it was, everybody was panicking, so it was kind of surreal. The
Yeah.
brownies ended up taking like a life of their own once we set up the website, because people were putting in orders, and then it was really crunch time because we didn't expect to get the sort of attention we were getting. So we had to figure out how to match production to meet expectations. So it was really surreal. I had never imagined it.
Oh my gosh, so many good lessons here.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
many good lessons. And I understand the car is still in the family, right?
Yes, I drove it for 2 years, and then I gifted it to my brother so he could drive it, and we still drive it. I get to drive it when I come
That's
home.
awesome. All right, stand by. I love this story, and I love your spirit. Look, coming up, you're going to meet Nayeli and Katie. The mother and daughter duo has turned small business lessons into big wins for their community. One sweet treat at a time. You're going to find out how when we return. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I really want to thank you for season 3 of Portia. It's because of loyal viewers like you that we keep getting to share this daily dose of positivity all across the country. So just a reminder, I still need you to like, comment, and subscribe. And go ahead and tell your friends. You can catch us now in Orlando, in San Francisco, in Atlanta, and all across the country on Fox Soul. Tell your friends. We'll see you soon on Portia.